Hey everybody, Adam the Movie Guy here, and I gotta tell you guys right off the bat, I'm fucking astounded at how the film Return to Silent Hill could be a more faithful adaptation, at least on the surface, of a game in the series, specifically Silent Hill 2, and yet, at the same time, be significantly shittier than the 2006 Silent Hill, which, despite its own flaws in my opinion, is a solid film in its own right, and that I personally enjoy. But before I go into my thoughts, here's a preview of Return to Silent Hill, a movie that had zero fucking advertisement, and a lot of people, including fans of the series, didn't know was coming or straight up just didn't give a fuck.
James, so much time has passed, but I'm asking to please come back to our special place. Something's happened. Love, Mary.
Hello? Can anyone hear me?
Everyone got sick in Silent Hill.
Something's happened here. Something really, really bad.
What you're doing, it won't be enough to save her.
You did it, didn't you, Jimmy? You woke him up.
No one said it would be easy.
I'm here. I'll always be here.
So, Return to Silent Hill brings back the director of the 2006 Silent Hill movie, Christoph Gaines, who is a super fan of the series, which I truly believe, because despite the somewhat questionable changes of the 2006 film, the fucking nonsensical inclusion of a Pyramid Head, holy shit, I'm tired of them doing that, and not having Harry as the main protagonist, which frustrates the absolute fuck out of me since he's my favorite character in the series, that movie at least captured the spirit of the games, and you could tell there's love and passion in it as well.
Look at me. I'm burning.
As thought for its story and the structure of how it's told. Silent Hill Revelations, as bad as that movie was, at least it's so bad it's good territory, at least with me, and it's like watching a haunted house attraction. So, here comes to 2026 Return to Silent Hill. And being a much more direct adaptation of one of the games, as I mentioned in the intro, adapting Silent Hill 2, one of the most critically acclaimed survival horror games to ever be created, and the one game in the series that pretty much influenced damn near every other future installment, especially when it comes to the themes of grief, madness, and the darker sides of oneself and all that bullshit, right? Now, I'm going to say some shit that may ruffle some fellow Silent Hill fans' feathers when it comes to Silent Hill 2, the game, and its impact on the rest of the series, but I'll get to that later, because first, I need to lay out my issues and some compliments, if I can think of some, when it comes to its film adaptation, Return to Silent Hill. Spoilers ahead, I'm warning you all now. Granted, the game has been out since 2001, so I don't want to hear anyone getting all fucking boo-hoo, crybaby, butthurt bitch about it, even if you didn't play the game since I just gave you a warning. Get it, got it, good, now on to my thoughts about the film. So, Return to Silent Hill, on the surface, is the most faithful to the games, again, especially Silent Hill 2 specifically, and yet, somehow, it has been dumbed down, chopped up, and some bizarre changes were made when it comes to some story elements and characters. The film opens up showing how James met Mary, who seems to be in a hurry to get away from the town. And it shows how they quickly fell for one another, love montage, all that bullshit, right? And there's this big-ass change in regards to Mary's backstory and the whole angle of James returning to the town of Silent Hill to find her. So, in this version of the story, they're not married, they're just together. Mary is a resident of Silent Hill as her hometown, I don't know why, and her and James lived there together for a time, which wasn't the case in the games, where in the games, They vacationed there since Silent Hill was a fairly popular resort town and had a pretty popular tourism industry going. Okay. Now, another big change the movie does is the film treats Mary being dead as a surprise, since the first half of the film makes you think they just broke up and they haven't seen each other in a while, while Mary's letter telling James to come find her in Silent Hill, a lot more reasonable, since in the game, right off the bat, we know something's up because Mary has been dead for years at this point, and the whole letter telling James to come to Silent Hill is a big what the fuck mystery, asking the player, is somebody doing this as some sort of fucked up job or joke, impersonating Mary for a reason unknown? Or is she somehow still alive? What the fuck is going on? Etc. Spoiler alert, Mary is fucking dead, and a bigger spoiler alert, James was the one that killed her due to her disease that was slowly killing her and blocked it out in his mind from guilt and trauma. My issues with that is, first off, why the fuck did the writers feel the need to make Silent Hill Mary's hometown? That was completely unnecessary, and them living there, I guess, was supposed to give James and Mary a deeper connection to Silent Hill. I don't know why they felt that it was necessary, but okay, fine, fuck it, why? But it was just perfectly fine in the game. It's just where they vacationed together, and it was their last truly happy memory as a married couple together, because Mary shortly afterwards was diagnosed with a disease that was killing her and physically degrading her to the point of self-hatred and disgust. We didn't need to have them live there for a time. And the other thing with the whole Mary being dead treated as a surprise for at least a good portion of the film was dumb, since it took away the lingering mystery of who the fuck wrote that letter if she's been dead for years at this point. And something even more stupid is Mary's backstory in this adaptation is she's part of a fucking cult run by her abusive father that has been sexually abusing her, and the characters of Angela and Laura in this version are just different aspects of James' imagination based on different aspects of Mary's personality instead of their own characters. In the game, it was primarily just Maria that served that role, as well as the monsters that James encounters, with the exception of Pyramid Head. They went as far as having the character of Angela also be played by the same actress who plays both Maria and Mary to hammer that point home like we're fucking stupid. My question with that is, why in the fucking world did they feel the need to have Mary be in a cult? Were they trying to connect the story of Silent Hill 2 with Silent Hill 1 and 3, since those deal with the Order? Because if that's the case, they could have done way better. Granted, I prefer they didn't do that, since Silent Hill 2 always kind of stood apart from Silent Hill 1 and 3. Part 2 did its own thing aside from the setting of Silent Hill. Whatever. And speaking of other characters, Eddie in this movie is a fucking nothing character, and he's in all of 2 scenes and could have been taken out completely and nothing would have changed. Where in the game, he actually had an impact and was a memorable character. He literally was in the movie for like a goddamn minute, and he fucks off never to be seen again. Fucking why include him at that point if you're not going to have him do anything? Just fan service without any substance whatsoever. Now, Laura is one of the 2 characters I actually liked in the film, the other being Maria. But let me start off with Laura, since while I really liked the performance by Evie Templeton, who, unlike everybody else in the movie aside from Hannah Anderson, who plays Maria, Mary, and Angela, she actually has some life in her and did give me the vibe that they were phoning it in. I have some questions such as, why the fuck did they go with the creepy kid route when in the game that really wasn't the case with Laura? Were they trying to make her act more like she's fucking Alessa Gillespie from Silent Hill 1 or something? Why the fuck in this version is she basically the child version of Mary James cooked up in his mind, when in the game, she was just an orphan girl Mary bonded with in the hospital and was resentful towards James due to Mary venting her frustrations to her in the hospital when James didn't stop by to visit her. She was her own character that was connected to Mary, not a fucking construct that represented her as a child. How the fuck do you simplify something and yet make it simultaneously unnecessarily complicated? What, huh? As for Evie Templeton herself, I thought she did wonderful for what she was given and actually gave a fuck about her role despite some questionable creative decisions for her character. It's also really cool that she actually did the mocap and voice of Laura for the Silent Hill 2 video game remake. She's one of those rare cases of a video game voice actor playing their same role in live action adaptations. This was filmed, I think, right before season 2 of Wednesday, where she played Agnes, which caused her to blow up overnight. And now everybody, including myself, loves this girl as fans of her work, which, funny enough, is the same exact case with her Wednesday co-star Emma Myers, who blew up playing the character Enid. And I just realized something. I think if they adapted Silent Hill 1 instead, she would have made an amazing Alessa Gillespie. Just dye her hair black, keep the pale face and intense eyes. She's Alessa. Motherfucker, now I'm just mad they just did do that instead. She would have fucking killed it as Alessa, and if they did part 1, fast forward a few years, they could have did part 3, since that's a direct sequel to part 1 and continues that story. She could have played Heather, aka Cheryl, aka Alessa, since she's the perfect age, has the look, and most importantly, is a really good actress. Motherfucker, that would have been great. Now I'm getting even more pissed off at these missed opportunities. Last Wednesday tangent before moving on to the characters Mary, Maria, Angela, and the actress that portrayed all three. Please, Netflix writers for Wednesday Season 3. Please include Cousin It. He was my favorite family member, and you could continue the running joke of Wednesday only joyfully smiling when seeing certain family members.
Uncle Fester.
The only people who deserve to be buried in this dump are the maintenance staff.
Grandmama.
Hannah Anderson, who plays 3 roles, Mary, Maria, and Angela, she was amazing, and like Evie Templeton, she brought some life to a film that, aside from them, lacked it to the point and almost put me to sleep watching this shit. I'm not joking, my fucking eyes were glazing over 2/3 into the movie. Hannah Anderson showed she has great range, portraying 3 very different characters, with my favorite being Maria. And I gotta say, Hannah Anderson is such a beautiful woman. If I was James, I'd probably crawl into a bottle like he did if I lost her. Although I'm not a fan of the change of making Angela and Laura just be another aspect of Mary from James's mind. That was a strange, unnecessary change. I don't know why they did that. And the whole cult thing and sexual abuse backstory was a big what the fuck for me. Seeing all those people with Mary in the apartment was making me think the writers were trying to get fans of the series watching Silent Hill 1 and 3 vibes with that, but they failed miserably. And as for James, well, he's aight. I mean, he wasn't bad per se, he was serviceable, and the actor portraying him was just okay, but he honestly didn't wow me or make me feel for his character in the way that the game does, so he's there. That's all I gotta say about James. Now on to Pyramid Head real quick, who looks great in the movie, but he barely gets fuck all to do, which blows my mind since later games and the other films used Pyramid Head when they had no business to, and yet this film, which is justified using him, with him having a much more prominent role like the source material, he comes across as almost an afterthought in this movie. And they have to scream in your face Pyramid Head is James because viewers are apparently fucking brain dead. The creature design overall was good to its credit, and some of the shots are pretty great in very brief moments, but aside from those very good moments, the film looked cheap overall and somewhat dated even compared to the one released 20 years ago, which is saying something. One last thing I want to bitch about is the ending, which seems to be following the In the Lake ending, where, for people who aren't familiar with the games, is James, not being able to live with his guilt and grief, takes Mary's body, puts it in his car, hops in, and drives straight into the lake, drowning himself to join her in death. I would have been fine if they actually stuck to their guns and kept that ending and just ended the film right there. But then we flash to the beginning of the film with James meeting Mary, only this time the implication is that everything that happened still happened, and somehow he's back in time where they first met, implying some sort of fucking time loop where James is stuck in this eternal hell of reliving this nightmare over and over, but instead of driving Mary into town like he initially did in the beginning of the movie, he drives the other way. So what the fuck was that supposed to imply? That would be different this time? I haven't a fucking clue, nor do I care enough to find out, because this movie was such a fucking letdown in damn near every single way. How I feel as of right now, ranking wise, out of 10 stars, I give it a 3. I think that low of the film. But there's one last thing I wanted to get off my chest before I end the episode, and that is my feelings about Silent Hill 2, the game, or games, factoring the remake specifically compared to the rest of the franchise. Now, this is where I'll probably piss off hardcore fans of Silent Hill 2, but I gotta be honest. I am tired of everyone sucking Silent Hill 2's dick like it's a gift from God or some shit compared to the rest of the series, when I actually prefer the cult-centric storyline of the OG in Part 3. To me, that's what Silent Hill is more about. Silent Hill 2, while being without a doubt one of the greatest survival horror games ever made, honestly gets propped up more than it should compared to the other games in the series, especially compared to the OG, which I feel is vastly underappreciated and in terms of horror, scarier than Part 2.
What is this? What's going on here?
Part 1 feels like you're playing some sort of bizarre, fucked up nightmare, which no other game in the series captured, with the closest one being Part 3, which was a direct sequel to the OG. Seriously, whenever someone references the Silent Hill franchise, chances are they will pull something from Part 2 out of their ass, and I'm sick of Part 2 getting so much praise compared to the first one and 3, and I can make the argument that Part 3 was a better game, not just from a technical level, but a story one as well. The only thing I could say Part 2 shits all over the other games in the series is when it comes to being a character study with the main protagonist James, and the theme of grief and loss taking care of a dying relative hits home for me. And of course, both Pyramid Head and the sexy nurses, which are so iconic and everyone knows who they are instantly on sight. Granted, I don't want to see Pyramid Head in anything else unless it pertains to James or Silent Hill 2. And the nurses, I'm okay with seeing them since they were in the OG game, and there's been multiple variants of them throughout the series, with my favorite variant being the demon-headed one from Silent Hill 2006 film and Revelations, and Silent Hill Homecoming for, reasons.
Just put it in my mouth. Oh.
Well, guys, this is the end of the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. This has been Adam the Movie Guy, and I'll see you next episode.